Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, the Muhammad asked the question that when a person have to deal with people, and sometimes it's become difficult because they are doing mistakes, and not mistakes sometimes intentional things actually, which are wrong, which are negative. So the question is that how to deal with it, and the best answer we can get is from the Prophet ﷺ, his way of dealing with people. It's called social intelligence. It's a separate ability, social intelligence, wisdom. There are many prophetic ways in this, but one I'm going to mention for now, which you can apply and immediately benefit, get results from. That is that firstly one should know that it is irrelevant what people are doing. What matters is how you respond. Because half of the stress goes away once you think that it's not my problem what they're doing. My problem is how I manage and react to it. Because many people come frustrated, oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Why actually winds them up.
Yes.
Before they think of a solution, their mind goes blurred. So they can't find a solution, plus they are frustrated. That adds to their frustration, and then they take it out in a negative way, either on themselves or the other person. On self meaning they just contain it, and it actually damages. Yeah, it damages inner self. Now, how to deal with these people? The Prophet ﷺ, our mother, al-Mu'mineen, Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, says that he never took revenge on any personal wrong. He always took action, responded when there was a collective wrong done, when others are harmed, when the deen is harmed, when that other person is harmed maybe, but not when he is harmed. So one line one should draw, that the prophetic wisdom of, one of the prophetic wisdom of social interaction is that you keep ignoring if you are personally being harmed.
Yes.
Actually, meaning it's not worthwhile to actually be. The best response is to ignore. Ignoring is also a response.
Yes.
Because then you are giving that people indirect tarbiyah in a way. Because when they know they are doing it wrong, they also know how you are doing it. So that actually sends a message, and they benefit from that one day, sooner or later. So first is this principle that personal wrong, a person should not, that he said this to me, he said this to me, or he did this, this me thing, me, I, and my are not your best friends. People think they are my three best friends, me, I, and my, but they are not. So now we come to the second thing, that how, if you want to, now how to, the mistakes you need to respond, how do you do that? And if you chose not to ignore, if you should respond, how you should do?
Yes, this is it.
So the answer to that is, there are two kinds of, when we say, ignore, overlook small mistakes, then like you said, how can I overlook small mistakes? It actually comes up together, accumulates together, make a big one. A big one. So the answer is very, very, from wisdom, from the prophetic wisdom we get, that mistakes people do of two kinds. Two kinds of mistakes which they do. Number one is which has short-term effect. Those who have short-term effect. Then there is long-term effect. The one who will, meaning affect you or them or the deen long-term, meaning forever or very long-term. The wisdom is to ignore the short-term ones. Short-term meaning a glass has broken. Now, if you can make a disaster, a big argument out of it. For example, why the servant or the wife has been broken a glass, or a child who I've told you 100 times, now you've done it. After all, it's a temporal effect. It's not going to carry on till tomorrow.
Yes.
You understand? Or, for example, the food is not good enough. Is every day the food is. If the problem is the wife can't cook at all, for example, or she does it every day, then it's different. But if someday she has not made it good, or she has not made it at all, or then it's a temporal problem for today night, or is forever and ever. So at that time you should decide. If it is a temporal one, completely ignore. Do not react at all on it. Because if you do, then this is temporal, but another permanent problem can come in.
Yes.
For example, whole night and the coming days can be spent under strain, or under some kind of a bitter relationship, or even sometimes big disasters happen and behind that. So the wisdom is firstly to differentiate, is that mistake or that action is affecting in a short-term way or a long-term way. If it's short-term, then it's ignorable.
Okay.
But long-term, then you can't ignore.
Yes.
When you can't ignore, but to immediately react is not the right response. That is very wrong. Even if it is not ignorable, it's a long-term problem. But immediate response or addressing it instantly is unwise. Then you've noted that this mistake has been done, or a person is doing intentionally. Then a person should make a plan. How to address this.
Yes.
After 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. That's a different topic. How to address it, how to correct people, how to make better. But mainly the thing which I wanted to mention now was these things.
Okay.
That actually that differentiate between personal wrong and wrong done to others, wrong done to deen, wrong done to the masalih of people. Secondly, if any mistake, any action only has temporal effect, then do not act, because it is very, very unwise to do that.
Being temporal, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it will go away by itself, but you are going to cause misery for yourself for long period of time. Now, like for example, in the Prophet of Islam's life, someone broke a glass or plate. Servant, the household, family, like women, they began to criticize the servant very much. Oh, you did this, like they used to sometimes hit and sometimes mistreat. So someone, for example, they were criticizing and scorching them, why you have broken the glass, or why you have such. The Prophet of Islam very nicely, he picked up the glass and said, لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ أَجَلٌ مُسَمَّى. Everything has a time pointed to it, a death. So we can say everything has a time of death, time of expiry. Like human beings, Even glass have that as well. So he said, this was it. So it's no use at criticizing him. And because it was like a temporal thing, so he didn't actually. So this is one day, some other things, but this is one thing I mentioned, how to address the wrongs which people do, which the family do, which others do. Firstly, see, is it they're doing it to you or other family? If it's to you, then a person can ignore if he can. If he can't ignore, then he should know, does it have a temporal effect? 1 day, 2 days it will go away, or is it a long-term one? It will affect me in years. If it's a temporal one, then ignore it will go away by itself. It's a temporal thing. If it's a long-term affecting, then a person should make a plan how to address. And that's a little bit. Then a thought need to be put in how to address a wrong. This is it.